Hi everyone, welcome to Sunny Day Discussions. I am Sunny Day. Today I would like to obviously go over the mass shootings that we've experienced since I last posted about them. And that starts on, let's see, the 30th of May. There was 2 on the 31st. There was 2 on June 2nd. So we skipped a day. There was 2 on the 3rd, 1. On the 4th was a bad day, 6. On the 5th, there was 1. 6th, there was 1. 7th, 8th, and 9th, there was only 1. So, still a lot, still sucks. And then I also wanted to kind of touch on the whole Trump situation and the fact that he's been indicted federally. It's not just the E. Jean Carroll thing. It's pretty serious. It's about the documents. Basically, he has been charged federally, and the laws that he's been charged under is a provision of the Espionage Act that prohibits the retention of classified documents and materials, a statute that prohibits the obstruction of an official proceeding, a statute that prohibits falsifying or destroying records pertinent to a federal investigation, and then a statute prohibiting false statements and conspiracy. Some of the details were classified documents were found in his shower, an effort to move boxes and hide them from the FBI, a damning admission that was caught on tape where Trump said that he has declassified documents and that while he was president, he could have declassified them. But now that he's not president, he can't, but he was still showing people and telling them about it. And on at least 2 occasions after leaving office, Trump displayed classified documents to others visiting him at Bedminster, his golf course in New Jersey. In 2021, he showed a writer, publisher, and 2 staff members a plan of attack that he said had been prepared by the U.S. military. Some of the classified documents were stored in a ballroom, a bathroom, and a shower in his bedroom. So, obviously, a grand jury of his peers in Florida saw that there was enough criminality to proceed with pressing charges. There are currently, as far as I can tell, 37 federal charges against him in regards to this case specifically. So we'll just see how that goes, how it plays out. He's been indicted. We'll see how the trial goes. I hope it's televised. It probably won't be. And I haven't read the full document for his indictment, but I will. And then the main thing I wanted to talk about was LGBTQ plus issues. There has been, by the largest LGBTQ plus advocacy group, they have declared a state of emergency for members of the LGBTQ plus community. There have been 70 bills that have been considered anti-LGBTQ plus that were passed in the state houses. But there's been over 500 that have been at least brought up to be considered to or be voted on. 525 exactly. And most of those were brought by Republicans. As a result, LGBTQ plus members have been subjected to threats, attacks. Some have been moving to states where it's safer for them. They're fueled, these laws, these anti-LGBTQ laws, are fueled by Republican establishment and a coordinated, well-funded extremist groups like Alliance Defending Freedom, it's ironic, Heritage Foundation, and the Family Policy Alliance. I struggle to find the words about how despicable this is. But promoters of the transgender bills say that they protect children from misguided parents and doctors who support gender transition and gender affirming care. Well, I'm sorry, but I trust the parents of that child and the doctor who has years of study and experience to know what's best for that child, rather than Karen down the street who thinks that queer people are from Satan or something. So again, they're trying to push, all these anti-LGBTQ and trans people are trying to push their own ideologies and beliefs on the rest of us. 20 states now ban gender-affirming care. And because of the rhetoric that's going on in politics and in the media, it's stochastic terrorism. And stochastic terrorism is the public demonization of a person or a group, resulting in acts of violence. So by telling everyone, politicians and media, that the LGBTQ plus population are groomers, that is causing fear in people who are unfamiliar or uneducated about that community. And it's causing suicide rates to increase among LGBTQ youth. The LGBT community, plus community, is not inherently prone to higher rates of suicide because of their sexual identity. They are placed at a higher risk because of the mistreatment and stigmatization that they experience in society. In the past year, 41% of LGBTQ plus youth seriously considered suicide. Risk of suicide is higher among transgender and non-binary youth. 48% of trans women and 56% of trans men and 48% of non-binary have all considered suicide. So this leads me to a discussion this is my opinion, and I know there's many people who agree with this opinion, but there are 10 stages of genocide, and I believe that we are well into those stages in regards to the LGBTQ plus community. The first stage is classification. The differences between people are not respected. There is a division of us and them, which can be carried out using stereotypes or excluding people who are perceived to be different. The anti-drag queen, the anti-trans, the anti-LGBTQ legislation, the calling them groomers and pedophiles just because they are in the queer community. That's number one, we're there. Number two, symbolization, a visual manifestation of hatred showing that they are different. I would say that the attacking of Pride merchandise at, say, Target, the categorizing them all as groomers, again, falls into this category of symbolization, because now people see pride flags, like the one behind me, as a symbol of pedophilia and grooming. And so they take offense to that. Then there's discrimination. The dominant group denies civil rights or even citizenship to identified groups. Denying healthcare to transgender people. We're there as well. Number 4, dehumanization. Those perceived as different are treated with no form of human rights or personal dignity. Being forced to use the bathroom of gender assigned at birth. If you have seen on YouTube or know any trans men or women, they are very obviously the gender they identify with. So I personally, if a trans man came into the bathroom, I would be a little bit more uncomfortable with that than a trans woman, because of the fact that if they've gone through the transition, particularly, they look very much like the gender they identify with. And even so, the whole rumor that people are going to use this whole transgender bathroom issue to sneak in there and rape women or molest children or whatever. They don't have to dress up like a woman to do that. That's going to happen. It has happened one way or the other. So that's just completely ridiculous to use that as an excuse. Then there's organization. Genocides are always planned. Regimes of hatred often train those who go on to carry out the destruction of a people. The politicians and media are telling their supporters and constituents that the trans community is evil, that they are of Satan, that, you know, as we've gone over, groomers, pedophiles, all of that, all of those shock words, those trigger words, instill this hatred and fear in the ignorant. And they believe this rhetoric. And then they carry out acts of violence. And they justify it by saying they're doing it for the good of the people. They're doing it for the children. Because some of them legitimately believe that that's what they're doing. Others just use this as an excuse to target a community. Then there's polarization. Propaganda begins to spread by hate groups. Fox News, social media, all of the Proud Boys, the 3%ers, whatever they are. I don't even know, because I try not to pay attention to them because they're irrelevant to me, even though they are relevant. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, anyway. So there's number 6. We're there. Number 7 is preparation. Perpetrators plan the genocide. They often use euphemisms such as the Nazis' phrase, the final solution, to cloak their intentions. They create fear of the victim group, building up armies and weapons. There we are right there. All of these people that are attacking, whether it's verbally on social media or physically, the LGBTQ plus community, the politicians, the media, the citizens, that's there. We're doing that. Or they're doing that. Then there's persecution, number 8. Victims are identified because of their ethnicity, religion, sexual identity, and death lists are drawn up, sometimes segregating into ghettos, deported, or starved, and property is expropriated. Words are hard. So we have the denial of medical care. We haven't moved them into, or they haven't moved us into ghettos or anything like that yet. But they're basically forcing them into blue states, which is fine. We welcome you with open arms. Your people, your family, that's fine. So we're not there yet. And hopefully we will never get there. Then there's extermination. The hate group murders their identified victims in a deliberate and systematic campaign of violence. We're kind of teetering on the edge there. There is hate crimes against the trans community in particular and drag community have increased exponentially since all of this legislation has come to the front. And then there's denial. The perpetrators or later generations deny the existence of any crime. So to me, we are well on our way to a modern day mass genocide of the LGBTQ plus community. A community which I became a part of after educating myself a couple of years ago. And I don't feel like I can specifically say I am part of that community because of the person I fell in love with and married happens to be a man. So most people wouldn't see me as a member of the queer community, but I am pansexual. And even if I wasn't a part of this community, or even if I didn't have family members that are a part of this community, I would stand up for them because they're people, they're humans. They deserve the same respect and treatment and rights as anybody. They deserve to be treated the same as white Christians. Everyone does. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. And if they want to use pronouns, use the damn pronouns. How hard is it to say him instead of her? It's not hard. Just respect people and respect their choices and let people live. Stop being so afraid of everything that you don't understand. And educate yourself. You know, talk to people. Talk to members of the LGBTQ plus community. You'll realize there's nothing there. And if you really want to fight pedophilia, look within your religious organizations. Because there's a lot of shit going down there. But you hear nothing about it from these groups that are targeting the LGBTQ plus community. So again, that's the end of this video. I will say vote, no matter how small, how big, no matter how hard. We have to get out there and vote. And vote in people who will respect the lives of others, who will accept the lives of others, whether they're different or not, whether they agree with it or not. So vote. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this content and like the video, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. So I'll see you next time. Thanks.